Welcome to In Bed with Jay and Josh, and today we've got guests Ajax and Nico, husbands to the stars, and they are welcome.
That's right. We do deserve a round of applause.
How are you enjoying Bali?
I love it here. As you can see, goes to Bali once, never leaves.
This is the stereotypical goes to Bali once. He's even got some fucking fruit in it.
I've got my rambutan, my comfort rambutan. I've got my little Hindu bracelet and my full dress. Yeah, I mean, I'd love it top to bottom. The climate, the environment, it's so beautiful. Everything's green and blooming and growing. Torrential downpour, so much rain.
Love that.
It's very alive.
And you're a very green person as well. I always see you in your garden. So this must be fucking heaven for you.
Yeah.
It is. You know, like there's a lot of things. There's some things here that I grow at home that I like struggle to keep alive. And I see them here thriving and just going crazy. And it's so beautiful. And everywhere you look, even just like walking down the street from the beautiful villa, of course, but just around town, there's plants growing on the walls, on the trees, everywhere.
I even found a plant growing from my toe.
Oh, is that what's on my toe?
Yeah.
You sit still here too long and you will find that,
Exactly.
I think.
There's some fucking fern growing out my toenail.
So this is our second trip together. You guys were in Marbella with us as well.
That's right, which was amazing.
Wasn't it great?
I loved that. Again, beautiful setting that you picked out. The villa on the top of the hill, looking out across the valley, the olive orchard. It's just
It was really special.
beautiful.
Well, that's how we roll. You know that.
Yeah.
Only the
Why,
best.
when you're like, we're going to Bali, I was like, yes, we are too. We'll
Yeah.
see you there.
Yeah.
So how is it in the industry being husbands? And how did you get into OnlyFans? Was it a choice together, or was it separately, or how did you first start?
Well, let me give you a little bit of background. So we have been through a lot of stuff together, including like some big transitions. Like we used to be farmers, right? And
Both of you?
Yes, together we did. And we sold a cash crop, and we saw the industry that we work in consolidate into big commercial enterprises that pushed out small growers like us. We used to be craftspeople. Okay, so like he had a company where he made like custom beautiful sculptural candles. I would make the molds and we'd pour the molds for production and everything.
Wow, I never
And
knew
there, and with that, we saw the idea basically go to China and go to mass production and just undercut us in costs. So we've been through a number of different like industries and jobs. I worked in an office. We've done all kinds of stuff, but we try to just like roll with whatever's happening in the world and be flexible about it, and also be prepared for the fact that what you're doing now might get pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
And so this was during the pandemic. He was exploring. He studied cinematography, always loved filming. And he started helping out another OnlyFans creator.
Yeah, actually, I was doing like a cameraman job for that.
Yeah, that's how I first met you, isn't it?
Yeah, and then somehow I was thinking maybe I should start my own too.
I mean, looking like that, of course.
Exactly.
And that's where Fit Cam Guy comes from, because
Yeah.
initially
I was doing
he was
camera.
behind the camera.
Yeah, and then I started doing my own. At the same time, doing also camera work. Yeah, I still do the camera work as well, but then started doing my own, and then Ajax joined the team as a family.
A collab trip, actually.
Join the family business.
December of 2022, I decided to join in the game, and that's when I started my OnlyFans, when I started my socials, everything just from nothing while we were on a trip. So I was not a pre-existing social media personality or person, and it was a big leap for me. I was kind of, scared, intimidated, whatever, but we happened to be on a collab trip. Not as good as one organized by you, of course.
It was in Mexico, right?
We were in Tulum, yeah.
No,
Tulum,
it wasn't.
yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
The collab.
It's a different one.
But nevertheless, so we were there already, and I had a little peek into the world and how it works. And I saw the potential, and plus, if he was going to be part of this world, I wanted to feel part of it too, because I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else's relationship, but it seems to me it could be really hard to navigate this world if one member of the relationship is inside it and a sort of top tier creator who's fully invested, and the other member is outside of it, you know?
And when you're not in the industry, you kind of like feel that jealousy, kind of, right? It's all stuff. But when you work already, you know, how is it? It's kind of, with the time, not like in the beginning, it goes away.
And I think for me, on some level, I felt like seeing it from the inside would help me understand it and maybe not feel threatened by it, which I think was a real risk if I had just been stuck with, you know, the work that I was doing then and felt like, ooh, I'm on the outside of this whole world. Like, do I need to be jealous all the time? Do I need to be concerned? Like, how do I feel about this or that? And being on the inside and experiencing it as well, I think it helped me get a little more perspective about it and chill the fuck out. You know?
I know my boyfriend likes to know a lot of things about it. Like, he really likes to, he likes me to tell him a lot what's going on. And he loved to watch, like, when I was on podcasts and stuff like that. He really likes to get to know what's the inside of it. And I think he's really excited to watch these podcasts, and he loves to know the most about it that he can. So I get that.
I think that's so healthy because if you don't know, if you're not asking the questions, you're filling in the blanks with all kinds of stuff that may or may not be true. And if you are a little bit, even just the tiniest insecure about something, it can creep into those blank spots.
Yeah.
And did you guys have an open relationship or anything of that arrangement before you started OnlyFans?
But we still don't have a relationship.
Not
actually.
like majorly, you know, like it wasn't, for example, we weren't going out on our own and like doing anything separately. Every once in a while, something would happen.
Like play together.
Yeah, with both of us. But it wasn't even like, we wouldn't like introduce ourselves as that way because it was a very selective type of, pretty seldom type of thing.
You weren't looking for it all the time. It was just whenever it might happen.
But in the beginning, it was kind of like, still was hard. Like, he was okay, I'm going to go to film with this person, and kind of like still in your head, you kind of jealous. You won't be even there, even as a cameraman, right? You don't want to be like, don't be there and see what's going on there. But with the time, we passed, I think, that, and now we are fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
we just have.
If you want to go film, he's filming.
And how long have you been doing OnlyFans for now?
So
2.5 years, I think.
Yeah, I almost, because I started my account December 6th, 2022. So right at the end of 2022.
And how has it changed your lives?
Oh, I mean, it's really significantly. I worked remotely. And I work for a technology company at the time that I started. And like a year into OnlyFans, I was able to let that go. And I kind of knew subconsciously on some level that there was a lot about that work that was making me stressed, unhappy, not my best self. And when I could let that go 100% because of the work we do at OnlyFans and like focus on living more of the life that I actually want to live around the clock as opposed to being beholden to a giant corporation.
Was it like a relief?
It was a huge
Well, you're your own boss.
Oh my God.
You do whatever you want.
And hopefully, I don't know, I guess he can tell you whether this is true or not, but like, I hope I'm a nicer person to be around.
Is he?
I know I can be tough to be around all the time, and he is around me day and night all the time. But
we still haven't heard. Is he?
No, he always was nice. I didn't see that difference when he was working for the company or now his own. But I mean, like, still it's a work, you know, like you still have to do a lot of work. You can't say, oh, I'm on my own boss and like let it go. No, here's a lot of stress too, a lot of work too, that you have to wake up, have a schedule and do work as well.
But it's your business.
Yeah, it's your business.
You own it.
And you can move the time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like.
I see you boys every morning. Like I literally I got up at like 7:30 this morning and wandered out like all my hair everywhere, like not even showered. And you guys are already filming like
I love seeing you guys in your G-strings doing social media stuff when I wake up.
I was like, fuck, I thought I was getting up early to do this shit. Look at you. You're already on your like 10th reel. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, so part of that is at the beginning of this year, every once in a while I like to check in because it is my own business now.
Yeah.
And see like what are the things that I think are working and I want to keep and I want to lean into, and what are the things that I think are not working and I want to throw out the fucking window. And sometimes it's hard to tell what's what. I got to be honest with you. But one of the things that I decided for this year is like, all right, I want to get caught trying. Like I want to put in effort all the time. when I can and try to do my best and make a lot of content, because I think that is important to keeping all your accounts running, to keeping the various platforms that we have to work with like satisfied and primed and ready to put the good stuff that we make out there in front of people. So I want to make stuff and do stuff and lean into that like social.
Yeah, because now you are not only a content creator, you're also influencer, kind of, right? You have to do both to target the audience. And
sorry to interrupt this gorgeous episode, but I couldn't help but say that posting nudes isn't a business strategy, but the OFBizSchool.com is. The OFBizSchool.com teaches you exactly how to turn your OnlyFans into a money-making machine. Marketing, branding, content strategy, make sense, and dollars. Sign up to the OFBizSchool.com, follow the steps, and let's just say OnlyFans will be paying your rent. So if you want to stop struggling and start thriving, go to the OFBizSchool.com. Trust me, your bank account will thank you. Now back to the episode.
It's a multifaceted industry, isn't it? You have to really... God, there's so many fucking platforms that you have to like take
There's
care of.
a new one every minute.
Yeah,
So,
and
you know?
also it's like, it's not just like we have all these platforms, but then we have like 2 or 3 of these specific platforms as well. So it's like, oh...
And what would an average day look like for you guys?
Well, part of the way that this has changed my life is like, it's really hard to say what an average day is. In the past, it was like, I got to wake up and get prepared for these meetings that I know are starting at this certain time, and I got to do this and that and update all these spreadsheets. But for us, there's a lot of cyclical stuff. So like,
but
now
we still have some schedule.
Yeah,
when you wake up every morning, like I don't, but he every morning, like here, he goes to the garden and starts filming his like the daily routine, right?
He wakes up, put his G-string on, goes out to the garden, the tripod on.
I don't know how like into the sausage being made that you want to get, but I have...
Oh, let's go full dirty. Like,
all right, great.
All the details.
So I have like my core OnlyFans socials, like on Instagram, that's Huge Ajax. And then I have other stuff, the personal feeders to that. So that's like McCowan. So I love gardening, and I do a lot of garden related projects, and I build stuff, and I show my collection of flowers and plants and stuff like that. So every day we got to get something for the core OnlyFans driver, and we got to get some of the peripheral content for the different.
We have like content pillars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, I don't go crazy. I'm not like a spreadsheet guy. That's why I don't want to work in a business anymore. I fucking hate spreadsheets, you know, but like I can get into a routine. And so, yeah, he's right. That's part of it. It's like I'm making new content for the core and for the feeder stuff and like my personal projects, because the gardening stuff is something I can do every day, and it's very fulfilling to me, and it makes me happy.
Something you have to do every day, right?
Yes, you got to do it every day.
You might as well film it.
Yeah, so I learned to incorporate that into it, because that I believe that keeps you engaged and going, because you can get burned out in creation, just like in any other job, if it's just that, okay, I gotta be slave to what performs the best on my channel, and I gotta do like these shots again and blah blah blah. So the gardening stuff is a little bit like, I actually do want to show people my gardens.
I mean, as well as loving the thing that you do, which is gardening, it's quite genius that you're filming that for content as well, because it's like you have to do it, one, because your garden's gonna die. You love to do it, and I think that probably keeps you inspired and keeps you not burnt out, you know, with...
The thing is, if you're putting out content in a fantasy way where it's not authentic, I find that people that do that tend to burn out and phase out more than the guys that are putting out genuine content of their day-to-day lives, like you guys do very well. And I can see, like, obviously with what you're talking about, you enjoy it, and it's something that you probably look forward to. And even like on this trip, you've been vlogging, and I enjoy that content because it shows that there's more depth to you guys. It shows that you're real, and it's not just like a make-believe fantasy persona.
Yeah, because I think the point of this, the point of the podcast and also the documentary we're filming is to kind of humanize us and kind of get behind the content creators. And I think you do that a lot. You guys do that a lot. You get really behind the scenes and get up close and personal, which I think people love and relate to as well.
I believe in that 100%, because I believe if you are a major outlier in terms of beauty or in terms of like endowment or some other thing, you can get away with nothing. You can get away with just that one thing.
Yeah.
But I know where I am in the distribution of people, and I'm not there. I can't get away with that. Yeah. And so that's why I've always wanted to bring in something more and to show people like, look, I'm not this perfect ideal model, but like I'm a real person. These are some things that I care about and I want to show you, and I hope maybe you care about them a little bit too. And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, when somebody comes up to me and introduces himself like, oh, I follow you, I love your content or whatever, you know what it is? It's not the main account. Maybe it's because they're embarrassed to lead with that. But 9 times out of 10, the first thing that comes out is, I love your content, is your gardening stuff is so cool. It's like, so they are coming
Or the
from
gardeners.
my passion.
Yeah.
You know? And like, not everybody in the world is into that. And I got to be honest, the core of my subscriber base is gay men, and it's not a huge part of gay culture.
No.
But it is something that's on people's mouth immediately when they make the introduction to me, or when they say like, oh, I love what you do.
I think it's just
So
humanizing and
works.
relatable,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's why. And I think it brings you down to, I think like gone are the days where, I think it's like unobtainable men, you know? I think back in the porn days when I first started, it was all about like being this unobtainable like Greek god. And now it's more like we want people to be relatable. We want to relate to it. We want to see ourselves in that situation, or see ourselves like being with those men. So I think having relatable content like that lets people, you know, fantasize about it more and be in that with you, you know?
I agree with that 100%. And like, just the whole media landscape has sort of changed that way. Not just adult content and performances. Like, there's the expectation of, you know, singers to have that approachability and everything. That's why what you see going on with like Chapel Roan is so interesting. People pushing back at that a little bit, because I think there is a balance, right?
It is, yeah.
Like, people want to see us and want to have like a relationship with us in a certain way, but we have our lives outside this as well. So that's something that's interesting to me. I mean, kind of been thinking about that a bit lately.
And I think other OnlyFans creators or people in general should be encouraged to share those types of things with the world, and not just be putting themselves in a box and sharing content within the guise of like putting themselves in that box of what a stereotypical OnlyFans creator should do or should look like, and really just show off what they do day to day genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because
also
we do
some
have so
people
much
are-
time to do things like gardening and things like that, because we aren't chained to the desk at a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
So
That's
there are all
huge
these
deal.
things that we get to do that other people don't get the opportunity to do. So we should be able to share that and celebrate what we do.
Absolutely. And if I, not that anybody asked for my advice, but if I were to give advice to other creators, is like, do not be afraid to share what is your passion outside of this specific content creation niche. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be worried about people judging you, or like, oh, is it going to hurt my numbers or something like that? Like, just try it, you know?
It's experiment.
Yeah, I think it's all
Because you have the luxury to do that.
yeah, it's all about like experimentation when it comes to content, finding what works for you and your brand, and your sharing your experiences with the world.
And also, like, I put some thought into it now. Like, if you have this position where you suddenly have reach, you can. I've never, like, sometimes when I look at my Instagram and I see how many millions of people have like viewed my content over the past month, I'm like, that is fucked up. That's like many stadiums full of people.
Yeah.
I never considered that in my life, and that I would have that kind of thing. And now it's like, okay, so what do you want to show them? You know?
What do you want to give to the world?
Yeah. It's worth thinking about.
Yeah, and I think what Josh and I are doing with the podcast and filming the documentary of all of the behind the scenes stuff on this trip, we're trying to replicate for the next trip and the trip after that. And it is scary because we are breaking that third wall, and is that what it's called? Fourth wall?
The fourth wall.
We already broke the third one, don't worry.
The second hole.
We're breaking one of the walls.
We're breaking the second hole.
That's later today. Stay tuned.
You know, there's people out there that might think that we're also ruining some sort of fantasy that they may have. But I think that there's space for us to also put out the content and also show what happens and the relationships that we have with the other creators on the trip, because that shows that we're not just turning up for an hour filming and then fucking off again. Like, we are spending time together as mates. And yes, we are mates that fuck. But I hope that sheds light on the human side of what we do and behind the scenes. So it'll be interesting, and we'll see how it goes. But
Yeah, I'm very excited to see.
me too.
yeah, I'm excited as well.
I want to hear from all the other creators too. So I'm like really glad that you're carving out the time to kind of do this, to pull these stories out of people, you know?
yeah,
worthwhile.
it's almost going to kill us, but
Yeah.
Almost. So it's making you
Almost.
stronger though.
Almost killed me yesterday.
yeah.
Well, you look fantastic.
Thank you. It's makeup.
He's been in the makeup chair for 2 hours.
Yes.
So just going back to your relationship,
Yeah.
I think everyone's curious to know like what jealousy is involved. What happens after like a collab trip or after filming together? Do you guys sit down and have a conversation about it? Maybe not these days because you've been in it for a couple of years now, but bring us back to when you maybe first started doing collabs and how that may have affected you guys.
Yeah, I feel like I was more of the problem because, to be honest, I was probably more insecure, and that was creating more conflict. Like, like I said, part of the reason I got into it because I felt like I needed to understand. I probably wouldn't have been able to sit outside with it and be a super chill, cool guy, and so I think maybe at the beginning, like I just had some natural feelings of insecurity about it.
As anyone would.
Yeah, and despite the fact that I'm like fuck, running my mouth now, like actually normally when I'm not, dedicating time to sharing and things like that, I'm a little quieter guy, as Nico is too. So
Are you more the jealous type, or is Nico more the jealous type? Who's more jealous?
I mean, we both are in some situation, in some parts, but we still, if we do something like from the day first until now, not only during the content creation, also in our life, right? We always discuss everything. We never do like without like, where are you? Oh, I'm with my friend's house or something. No, it never happened. I always tell him like, oh, I'm going to go do this.
Like where each other.
Yeah, and the same with the work situation. We always discuss. If there is a filming, he's like, oh, do you want to film with this guy because he's offering film with me? Do you want to do as well? Yeah, but we never do like, oh, okay, bye. I'm going to film with someone, and I don't know. It never.
Do you
happened.
think working as creators has made you guys stronger?
yeah, I mean, in a certain way, I think it sort of helped me with some of my feelings of insecurity and work through that. Now, like, also, we just spend every day, all day together, and so we're always together. We are married, but we're actually very close. And like everything that we work on, we do together. So like when he has his candle business, I was there, I was helping out. Like I said, I made the molds and everything like that. And we just do everything together. So there's a constant reinforcement of like support and presence in each other's lives. And even since we first started dating, we lived together, So for some people that might be too much, or it might be like, oh my God, it's codependence and over-reliance and everything like that. But I do believe that maybe in some way that helped a little bit with that. And then, like I said, once we got into the routine of like, okay, this is what a collab looks like, and got comfortable with sharing like with each other beforehand what our own concerns or prejudgments or worries about an upcoming collab might be, and like opened communication in that way, I think like things got a lot smoother because it's like you get used to the fact that like a collab is not a threat to the relationship that we have, which I said, like we're spending all day, every day together. We work with each other on everything, so like there's nothing to be jealous about or be insecure about.
Yeah, you both know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also
We
like,
also trust each other.
Yeah.
There's a very big trust between us. So
And communication's key, right?
yeah.
And you both acknowledge that it is a business and you're both trying to make money and push yourselves forward, and that's just a part of it, right?
Yeah, because I mean, so when we got married too, it's like an agreement that we are building a life together and we're trying to make that life into the one that we want to live. So successful in any number of ways, but like financially, of course, and also rich in experiences, like coming to experience this beautiful place. And so like, there's nothing, I don't know. I believe when you get married, it's like, you kind of agree, like what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours, both the problems and the rewards. And so we kind of like, yeah, that's how I think about it. And
Yeah, I love that.
What was your wedding like?
we got married in a beautiful. I wish maybe I'll send you pictures. And
Oh my
do
god,
like
you
a
need to
little
send me
overlay.
pictures. I've literally been like scrapbooking my wedding since I was like 13, like a little girl. Seriously, I'm
it
so
was very
interested.
small because partly of the time that it happened, and also partly just that's how we did it. And so a lot of people afterwards were like, "Oh my god, you didn't invite us to your wedding." We're like, "Bro, we didn't invite anyone to our wedding.
Yeah.
It was basically just us." We went out to the this beautiful painted desert in Nevada. And the pictures are very dramatic because we're all dressed up. We have the flowers and everything. And we're on this giant swirl of red rocks. And I started crying. I'm gonna get now. But it was like, it was very beautiful because it was like kind of symbolic to me of what our relationship is like, it is about our partnership and not necessarily about like impressing a ton of people or whatever that was. And it was about going somewhere together really beautiful and like kind of affirming like, okay, we're a team. So I'll send you this picture. Holy shit.
No, I know, like, I just
He may
know.
look big and scary.
I know, but really I'm a fucking
Oh,
big
it's a
teddy
big
bear.
softie. I know, like, I'm scared for my wedding because I know I'm not going to be able to say a fucking word. I'm going to be, I'm
blubbering
going to be in tears.
Yeah.
I cried at my sister's wedding. They were like, can you, like, say something? They were like, I was like 13. They were like, can you say something at the wedding? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll do like a little poem. And I got up there. They had to fucking bring me down because I was just like, I just stood there in tears. I couldn't even say a word. I'm going to be a mess.
I made it through, but it's like my voice was cracking, and I was like, "Oh my god, can you imagine how I like if everybody was here? Maybe that's why we know."
Funny picture, remember when like you are crying?
crying.
What else was something else was
I gotta
going
find
on?
this picture. It's so funny. Like I'm crying, something like the paper's blowing somewhere, or do we throw the? I don't know what.
It was a
happened.
mess, that
It's like
picture.
a million things going on. But so then the flowers and everything we had. I had it done so it's like there were flowers, but also there was succulents in the arrangement, and so then we kept it and took it home, and now they're like in the garden. So
that
the
is so
flowers
beautiful.
from the wedding are like still alive and growing in our house.
God, you're
Oh,
so
that's
sweet.
amazing. That is amazing. But also, if they ever die, you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Every once in a while, I think that, and I'm like, look, it's a symbol. It's not the real thing. The real thing is in here. You
Why
know?
does that come into my head? God, this
It
is
comes
dark.
into my head too. So I do, as soon as you say it, I'm like, oh. I think about that. That's why I'm like, I'm always checking, make sure everything's okay.
No, but then you just like press them, dry them, and immortalize them forever.
Yes,
Okay?
that's right. We gotta get that. We can take the tissue culture. We'll get a little cell sample.
Yeah. Clone them.
Do you guys have any advice for other couples that may be looking to get into OnlyFans together?
The most I could say is you figure out what works for you as a couple, because it might be different than how it works for us. And I don't want to say to anyone else, you have to do the things that we do. Like, for example, we both have our own accounts. You know, we don't, even though, like I said, we're a partnership and everything like that, he has his account and his, identity and everything.
You know what? I
And
heard
have
they don't
mine.
allow couple counts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, you have to be an individual
Oh, proprietor.
entity.
Yeah.
I should say- okay, so this is maybe just showing my ignorance, but some people kind of like their Twitter and their
No, I
promotion.
feel like some people do have couple
Yeah.
OnlyFans accounts, but I'm sure I don't know. I might just lied.
And that might work better for some people, but that's not the way that we ended up doing it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like not for you guys, but also if couples start a couple's OnlyFans, it's like if you ever split up. Do you know what I mean?
I always
no,
think
I'm not
about
saying for
that.
you guys because you're fucking married and that's not going to happen. But I always think about other couples and I'm like,
oh, I've seen that happen.
yeah, I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So I do think about that too, and I'm like, or even when people are just making their couple social media account, I'm like, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think about couples' Instagrams?
I don't. For me,
What's the tea, sis?
yeah,
What's the team?
I don't know.
I think it's too much with for me. I don't
do
know.
too,
Like,
because-
but everybody can.
At least my opinion about it is our relationship is for us. Like, I'm not trying to promote our relationship for any reason, right?
Yeah.
There's not necessarily an audience for that in my mind. It's more about us.
I mean, our YouTube channel also like a couple because we do everything together, but we don't advertise like it's a couple account. You
Right.
know? Like
Yeah.
we do everything together, like filming, traveling, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people out there that really brand their relationship. And I guess you guys have your separate identities. And then you also genuinely travel together and make content for those trips and your lifestyles.
Yeah, your relationship isn't the business. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, yeah.
because
Yeah.
we have also different interests. Like he's very into the gardening and stuff, which I'm not. I like what he does, and I'm enjoying beautiful flowers. What he spending a lot of time there to making that, and I like baking. So I'm in the kitchen most of the time. So I bake, I cook, doing more stuff which he's not involved.
Until the eating happens.
Yeah.
Then I very much appreciate it. I appreciate the whole process, but it's like you say, I'm not going to be the one doing the baking, you know? So it's like, yeah, we got our own stuff too.
I feel like I'm like really squeezed in here.
Sorry, am I pushing you off
This
the-
is a fucking California king.
It
bed,
really- it's
and
very
we're like
wide.
literally falling off the edges with these two.
The girth.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
it is.
complaining. I'm very.
I'm not complaining. And just how big these guys are. God. They're like Twiggy next to these guys.
Thank you so much for having us for this conversation.
No,
It's really
thank
fun
you.
to, like think through some of this stuff. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting
Thank
the
you
wheels turning in my
Thank you
head.
for coming. Thank you for coming on the trip.
Thank you for organizing the
Yeah.
Thanks
trip.
for coming on like literally every trip that we organize. We love having you, clearly.
Can't get rid of us.
No. And thank you for coming on the pod.
So if people want to find you guys on social media, OnlyFans, where can they find you?
Well, my core pillar is at Huge Ajax everywhere. But if you're into the gardening stuff, check out McCowan. It's my last name as well.
I'm fit cam guy everywhere.
Brilliant.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
Bye.
And that's been In Bed with Jay and Josh. Peace out.
Thank you guys. Yay.
Yeah.
That was fun.